Hello my dears and welcome back to another video. Today I am continuing my series of missing people and unsolved murders in New England. Today I am continuing with Maine, and today I'm going to be talking about the disappearance of Jeremy Alex, which is unsolved. Jeremy Alex was described as being a great guy in general. He was 27 when he went missing. He worked as a landscaper, and when he went missing, he was in the process of moving from Northport, Maine to Islesboro, Maine. Jeremy was last seen on the evening of May the 24th in 2004. Jeremy was, according to witnesses, last seen running out of the woods onto a woman's property on Pound Hill Road on the evening of April the 24th, 2004. The people who lived in the house claimed that Jeremy said that people were trying to hurt him and that somebody was out to kill him. But when they offered to call the police, he actually tried to bribe them. He tried to pay them money to let him go, and after they refused to do that, he freaked out and ran back into the woods. After Jeremy was pronounced missing, another witness came forward and claimed that they saw a man matching Jeremy's description run across Route 1 near Northport Marine at around the time he went missing. Both Pound Hill and Route 1 were extensively searched, but police didn't find any evidence at all that Jeremy was even there. In 2004, a Northport couple was building a house by the ocean, and around a month after Jeremy went missing, they started finding money washing up on the shore, amounting to about $30 total. About 2 weeks after the money showed up on their beach, they actually found Jeremy's license wash up on shore. But since they didn't know who Jeremy was and they didn't know that he went missing, they didn't really know what to do with the things they found. So they put his license and the money that they found into a bowl and just kept it on their coffee table in their house. And it sat there for years. After the husband of the couple unfortunately passed away in what I think was about 2009, friends came to the house for an after-funeral get-together kind of thing, and one of the friends happened to be a retired parole officer, and he saw Jeremy's license in the bowl on the coffee table and remembered who Jeremy was and was able to give that information to the police. Unfortunately, however, there really isn't anything more to the case. There wasn't any other evidence found. We have very little idea of what actually happened to Jeremy. There are two main leading theories in the case. It seems like there are some very strong opinions about this case of what actually happened to Jeremy, so I will lay both of the theories in front of you, and I'll let you come up with your decision. But if I may ask, please do not fight in the comments, because that's the last thing that I need. So the first theory that kind of came to my mind when I was reading the case, and also one that was brought up when I was researching, was that Jeremy was having a bad drug trip and passed away due to exposure, or maybe that he ran into the ocean and drowned. I think that would kind of make sense to a point. It makes sense that the money would wash up on the shore if he did run into the ocean, or maybe like grabbed a boat or something and drowned, but at the same time, that doesn't make 100% sense to me, because if they didn't find the money on the shore and his license plate, then I would 100% believe in this theory. But that's kind of where things get a little bit iffy, because if he did indeed drown, wouldn't his body eventually wash up on the shore? Especially if he ran into the ocean, or even if he used a boat. Somebody would remember someone stealing their boat or borrowing their boat. So that doesn't really make sense to me. And also, I wasn't able to find whether or not Jeremy was clean from his drug addiction or if he was still struggling when he disappeared. That is kind of foggy in my research. I wasn't able to completely confirm that or anything. So there's really, I don't know. I feel like that theory makes sense up to a point. And then this is where the second theory comes in. The second theory is that he was murdered and that it was covered up by the police. I know this theory sounds a little bit out there, but I remember researching, I did think it was a little bit weird that police didn't find any evidence whatsoever of his disappearance in any of the places that they searched. And it would make sense that Jeremy might have been murdered if they disposed of, his clothes and stuff into the ocean, that the money would eventually find its way up shore. So it makes sense, but at the same time, I don't want to wholeheartedly believe that a small town police would be corrupted. Although I suppose it might make sense if maybe a cop's brother or son or maybe even their daughter killed Jeremy over some kind of feud. Maybe it had something to do with drugs, but I don't know. I feel like both of these theories only make sense up to a point. Why would the police cover up Jeremy's murder? It didn't sound like he had that many enemies. This whole case, there isn't a whole lot of information of it online, but from what I could find, it's just one confusing theory after another, and neither of them fully makes sense. So I don't know which one to believe, because I don't know. They just neither of them fully makes sense. So according to the things that I read, Jeremy's family unfortunately do not have much hope that he is still alive. They feel like if he was alive, he would have contacted them by now. And I hope beyond hope that he is still alive and that maybe he did run off. Maybe somebody was out to get him and he needed to hide somewhere out of state, maybe even out of the country. But I do when I was researching this case, I just had this sort of sinking feeling that that wasn't what happened. And that is just so unfortunate. And it makes, even though I never met this guy, it just makes me so sad that whatever happened to him, we might never find out. Since Northport has, plenty of woods around, it would probably take a long time before, a lot of searching before they would find, anything. So if you have any information whatsoever about the disappearance of Jeremy Alex, you can contact the Waldo County Sheriff's Office at 338-2040. I'm sure they'd probably accept anonymous tips, so if you would prefer to stay anonymous, I know a lot of the people as witnesses in this case are anonymous, so if you would prefer to stay unknown, that's perfectly fine. But anyways, there really isn't too much more about this case that I can talk about, so I will just leave it here and sort of let you guys come up with your own opinion on what might have happened to Jeremy. If you have any case recommendations for Maine, that's the state I'm focusing on right now, and I'll move down to the other states in New England, so if you have any case recommendations for missing people, unsolved murders, Jane and John Doe cases of any state in New England, or any place in general. I could just cover it separately from the series. That's perfectly fine. If you have any case recommendations, leave it down below. I would prefer, though, if they were less popular cases, because I don't want to be the 4,000th YouTuber that's talk about John Benet Ramsey or Madeleine McCann or Lisa Lam, you know, like those very popular cases that everybody knows about and has talked about. I much prefer smaller cases that a lot of people haven't heard of and that need some type of exposure on social media and to the public in general. So if you have any cases like that, leave them down below and I will probably be able to do them. If you want more content like this, give me a thumbs up. And if you liked this video, check out some of my other stuff, and if you like my channel in general, then subscribe, and if you don't, that's perfectly fine. You can just continue on with your YouTube viewing, I guess, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye!